Hey guys, I'm Ryan Wright.
And I'm Jerry.
Hold on, Jerry. The microphone is so on. Anyway, we're going to talk about Fear the Walking Dead,
Yes,
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Here we go. I like this episode a lot. I thought it really moved the series forward in a really cool way because a big complaint about the first one was, oh, that not enough apocalyptic stuff was really happening, or and I didn't mind that, but that's what a lot of people were complaining about. I feel like what a lot of people felt like they weren't getting in the first one, they're going to get a lot of in this second episode.
Like everybody, like the curse of The Walking Dead is that people complain there's not enough zombie action.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it's the first episode of the show. There's a lot of setup to get through, especially on this show where we're not just meeting people, we gotta meet everybody,
Before we go into this, I gotta say, I think they're a little racist against black people in this show.
That's been an issue on The Walking Dead before.
Think about it. The first 3 defined zombies that we knew of, like people that we know that turned into zombies. I'm talking about like characters that we got to know beforehand. There's Cal, when he becomes a zombie at the end of the first one.
Which one's Cal? I'm so bad.
The drug dealer, Holmes.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the principal, who looks like Barack Obama. I'm not saying that because he's black. He just looks like Barack Obama.
Hey, they have a long face.
Yeah. And then the third one is Matt, the girl's boyfriend. Yeah, so they're turning the black guys into zombies first. Racism, Fear the Walking Dead, turned some whites and Hispanics into zombies.
From friends I had who worked in the Walking Dead mazes, you'd always hear people say that in the crowd. They'd always be like, "There are black zombies?" I was like, of course.
Yeah, I mean...
or a couple of people, you'd hear them go, they're like, there are girl zombies? I'm like, yeah, anybody can die.
They're making it look like the blacks are the cause.
I don't know.
Maybe they're not going that far. I'm just trying
to
stir up some controversy.
You are. Yeah. You love that shit.
It was pretty heartbreaking when the show started with Matt he's going to become a zombie. He's got the bite. And he's got the high fever. And it's a pretty heartbreaking moment because this girl that has no idea what's going to come, and the parents are like, I don't quite grasp what's happening, but we know the outcome is not going to be good.
Yeah.
So we got to get you away. And this show does a really interesting thing where it knows how to tug at your heart and just fucking break it because you know what's coming. And these guys don't.
Yeah, and I think that works to the show's advantage. That's one of the things I liked more about these 2 episodes is because of that, there is this sort of added layer of urgency and almost bleakness. It has a very sad onset because of that. You're like, oh, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, there's a rhythm to the show that I like. There's a pacing to it that feels more on edge and more
darker,
tense.
more aggressive.
Yeah, like The Walking Dead, don't get me wrong, has those elements, but it's more of a tension build-up kind of show. As opposed to this one, which is it's a race against time. Like they're trying to get out of the city before all shit goes down. And
well, The Walking Dead is because it's Georgia, because of the country, they really want you to feel that. So there's a lot more open space and stillness and taking in of scenery. And since this show's in the city, it's like everything has shit in the foregrounds and the editing's quick and everything is kind of claustrophobic.
They take advantage of the fact of how it is the modern day world. I
like this, 5 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. I like how the city gets involved with when the homeless guy gets shot and they can't go, hey guys, it was a fucking zombie. But they know that it was a zombie, so they had to put down the homeless guy.
Well, yeah, and they're at a point where we know that that this is still small enough that someone's going to try and contain that information, so people's trust is getting fucked with in ways they don't know, but we do.
So I like the protest and the riot that was going on in this show. Lorenzo as Chris. I don't we know Lorenzo in real life. Yeah. I don't fully know the character yet. I don't quite get a strong grasp of I get it. He's pissed off at his dad. He's a child of a divorce and kind of doesn't know where he belongs.
He's gotten a lot of stock scenes. I feel like his character could have benefited from more scenes just to kind of clue us in on who he is. Because the way that scene plays out where he finds the protest and takes out his camera, it almost seems like he goes from just having a bad day to being really involved in social rights, which was just kind of a left turn. So I wish we could have gotten to know him better.
He didn't strike me as the kind of character who would be so for a protest, But and I'm sure there's more details as to why, but I wasn't spoon-fed anything to really kind of give me a clearer idea of why he was so involved in this protest and why he was so passionate about it. But Lorenzo's a really good actor, though. My favorite moment of Lorenzo was actually when he was on the bus and he was trying to walk past these kids, but they weren't moving their legs or something. And and he got annoyed by it. That was a
It
really
was
great
very
moment.
real,
Yeah.
little, just a human tick, and I wish they would let his character breathe. That whole story, you know, has been kind of truncated in the midst of all the chaos, I feel like. And it's those moments that, you know, make me want to see more of that characters, like when they're being just human together and not dealing with their plot so much.
But at the same time, it is still only second episode. You got a huge cast here. You don't have time to get to truly know everybody.
Yeah, so, I just feel like we know, the drug addict guy. I feel like we know, like, him.
We know Cliff Curtis, we know Kim Dickens.
And we know him and his family.
Yeah.
But, like, the part of this that, you know, the ex-wife and Lorenzo figure into just hasn't gotten a lot of scenes to explore it yet.
And I'm interested to see where that goes down. You know, I like the whole sequence where they're hiding out in the barber shop. There's the riot going on outside. I like how that leaves it all to the imagination. It's scary, you know.
It makes the city and the people feel dangerous.
Especially because they were like, "Hey, I'm gonna hit the road, pick up my kid, and I'm gonna come back." And then you're like, "Oh, he ain't coming back, man. It's fucked up right now."
Well, yeah, and it's nice to see the kind of early warning signs of the bad effect, like, humans will have on this apocalypse, and not just the zombies, because you already see people kind of getting primal.
Yeah, because you imagine a world where it was just, oh, zombies started happening, humans versus zombies, but they're showing a real primal
Civil
side.
unrest,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly. It's cool to explore that, and I like how they're setting up how he's with Cliff Curtis is with his ex-wife and his son, and then Kim Dickens is with her family, and you're thinking like, okay, somewhere down the road, all of them are going to come together. What kind of conflict is it going to create? You know, having the ex around and stuff.
See, there's a lot of good potential for some conflict here.
Yeah, when the whole cast comes together, I feel like it'll be a really solid show.
Yeah, when I feel like as soon as they kind of get away from you know, the first couple episodes of setup and they can really breathe with their writing, then I think characters will start to come together. Because, you know, the first couple episodes, it does get kind of frustrating because it's like, oh, here's a character exposition thing that's really convenient to have happening during the onset of the apocalypse.
Yeah, it starts off like, here's a bunch of archetypes, but then as you get to know them, they're more than archetypes.
Yeah, and I just hope the writing can kind of meld into the story more a little bit so that those can come across more naturally.
Totally. What I really like too is what they did with Kim Dickens. I mean, I didn't really care for the moment where she discovers the principal is...
That whole scene.
Like, that was just dumb of her to be like...
A little bit.
I'm going to try to communicate, like... You've seen enough examples to know there's no getting through to these people.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm pretty forgiving of things like that in horror scenarios where it's like, why would you X amount of things? But it's like you're not thinking straight. And that time I was like, you've watched somebody run over one of these with your car like 4 times and it didn't die. You get it now. Like, you know.
And one might argue like, well, that was one of her closest friends and she was just in really big denial. But I don't get
They knew the other guy too.
I don't get the sense that that is what was going on, and it didn't seem like that was her character choice in the moment.
Well, that's the thing, is I want the acting and the writing to be able to meld, because they feel sort of separate for me right now. There's some well-acted moments that feel shoehorned, because they gotta kind of set shit up. So I want the writing to even out, but there are some great little moments with those characters.
And it's an interesting type of trauma to explore, too, because, you know, it's one thing when you're like, we know what the zombie apocalypse is. Oh, it's my first time I killed a zombie. I'm disturbed by it. Or, oh, I had to kill a human during the zombie apocalypse, but it's kind of a norm for everyone to sort of do that at that point, you know, and to see where they don't know what the fuck is going on yet, but she had to kill him. What kind of trauma is that going to play into her life? I like that scene when the neighbor was getting killed and she was blocking her daughter from going out. Like, that was a powerful moment because you're seeing, like, this woman's really realizing what the fuck's up, you know?
Well, it's nice that the show has that very personal trauma, because you do get the sense that all these characters had lives before and as this was happening. And so in The Walking Dead, we kind of skip to when this is normal, but to watch, you know, society collapse like that is going to give these characters a whole different set of things to deal with. You know?
Absolutely.
Because they're not so far in. They have whole life experiences still going on as society is crumbling.
Good show.
It's got potential. I don't love it yet, but I like some things.
I personally love it. I personally am really digging the show a lot. I don't want to compare it to The Walking Dead because there's, you know, like I brought this up in my first review for this show. I don't want to compare them because it's like comparing every zombie movie. You know, it's like just because it's a zombie movie doesn't mean you have to compare it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the implication is still that they're in the same universe, though.
Yes, that's one reason why you can definitely compare it.
You can compare rules basically.
Yeah.
You can compare how the rules reflect on each other and figure out the puzzle further that way. But the shows are shot so different.
They're
and have such
executed
different
totally
tones.
different. Yeah.
And it seems like they're even approaching the idea of ensemble differently because they're all kind of close to the same situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does feel like they've gone out of their way to make a different show.
Yeah,
in the same world.
And I'm okay with that, and I'm enjoying it. I'm
kind
enjoying
of a way
it.
all the CSIs are in the same universe, and none of them feel like it.
Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. If you're new to it, you can subscribe to The Real Rejects. You can check out Reasons, Jerry, and Dank Ass Stubs on this channel, hosted by said Jer Bear.
This is getting... This is rather strange. That was strange. That was very...
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram,
Not after
Twitter,
we
Vine,
just
and
watched
Periscope.
The Visit. Don't do that after we just watched The Visit.
I know, but I like being like my cats.
Okay, alright, that was adorable.